The American Express Delta Reserve card is not worth the $550 annual fee that they had the gall to slap on it like a Hot Wheels decal. And while I don't think it's the worst airline co-branded card, I'll be giving that honor to American Airlines and their World Elite MasterCard, because I actually do think it's second behind United Club Infinite Card. And that's not really going into the whole, United just crapping on their entire rewards program, but that's for a whole different thing. But ultimately, I don't think it's the worst card in the world. But for the benefits that they try and give you, combined with that annual fee, nope, I'm calling it basura, which is trash in Spanish. So let's see why the Delta Reserve card is just so bad. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Mike's Travels and Cents, where I go over points and travel strategies, and more importantly, how not to go broke while enjoying it all. If that sounds good to you, consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss future content just like this. And if you found some value in this video, drop me a like to let me know. But with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. So for those who may not know, the Delta Reserve is Delta's flagship co-branded credit card, which means it had to come with at least a $450 annual fee, and that was until they bumped it up to $550 at the end of January of 2020, which was later imitated by United with their, flagship co-branded card, the United Club Infinite Card, which now sits at $550. And it's pretty much what you come to expect from the big three credit card, co-branded card, things or whatever. They're pretty much lounge access cards with chip readers. Except the Delta Reserve actually does two things better than United and American Airlines. For one, you get a companion pass on domestic round-trip flights, good on main cabin, all the way up to that domestic first class, which is Delta One, when you're flying within the contiguous United States or whatever other exceptions they make. So there's that. And you get a spend waiver towards your elite status when you spend $25,000 on this card. And you also get a elite mile waiver when you spend $30,000 on this card, up to 15,000 elite qualifying miles. Actually, it's like up to 45,000 in total. So every 30,000 you spend, you get an additional 15,000 elite miles. So there's that. And you also get access to the Centurion Lounge and the Delta Sky Clubs when you're flying Delta, and you get potential upgrades behind elite members when you have this card. And now you may be thinking, wow, Mike, this card sounds great. Sign me up. I'll take two. And to that, I say, ease up, young traveler, ease up. Actually, chill out. This card is clearly made for those Delta loyalists or those people with a gobs and gobs amount of spend who either have a lot of spend or they only have one credit card, because you essentially have to spend at least $30,000 on this card to really tap into the full value. Which leads me to my issue with this card, and I'll get to the obvious. The American Express Platinum card. Question: why would I get this card when I could just get the American Express Platinum card? They literally have the same lounge access. Oh wait, except the Delta Reserve is more restrictive, since you have to be flying Delta in order to get into the Delta Sky Club and the Centurion Lounge, whereas you could be flying literally any airline and still get into the Centurion Lounge. So if I'm looking at this card from a lounge access perspective, I would say the American Express Platinum card is actually the no-brainer here. And okay, you might be looking at it like, well, I actually don't want this card, mainly for the lounge access. I really like the opportunity to be able to earn Skymiles without having to pay to transfer my points from American Express to Delta, paying that domestic transfer tax thing or whatever American Express likes to call it. Okay, and to that I say you have a point. Except, once again, the Delta Reserve is thwarted by another Platinum card. This time, it's Delta's own Platinum card. That's right, the Delta Platinum card actually also gets you a companion certificate, albeit not up to first class, but still a companion certificate. And you actually earn more Skymiles because you have more bonus categories with a Platinum card than you do with the Delta Reserve card. Which again goes back to my point. You can earn more Delta Skymiles technically with that 5x multiplier on American Express Platinum card than you can on that 3x multiplier on the Delta Reserve. What's even more bizarre is that to tap into the full benefits of this card, you have to be willing to spend $30,000 on a card with non-flexible points. And to put this in perspective, Silver medallion status with Delta only requires 30 segments or 15 round trips and $3,000 in spend, which, you can hit that on 15 round trips. But anyway, it only requires that just to get silver medallion status. And I say only because you should definitely already be a frequent Delta flyer if you're even considering this card, because outside of that, it really definitely doesn't make sense. But if you are already, then it definitely makes sense to just get the American Express Platinum card. The same annual fee, you get more lounge access because you get the Delta Club, the Centurion Lounge without having to fly Delta, and you get Priority Pass, not to mention all the status and other credits and benefits or whatever that come with the American Express Platinum card. So it's not the ideal pick for lounges, it's not the ideal pick for Skymiles, and it's not the ideal pick for that companion certificate unless you are actually willing to at least pay for one first class round trip flight, and you have to throw a bunch of money at this card to unlock those elite benefits for status. So how can Delta fix this card that's just stuck on the runway? Well, for one, they could drop me a like for the YouTube algorithm. Boom, I just dropped that. Yeah, I know. Hey, I watch Graham Stephan too. I've learned from him. But yeah, if you want to drop me a like, that'd be great. But anyway, how can Delta fix this card? Well, for one, they can definitely increase those multipliers on this card. If for nothing else, just for flying Delta, increase it to 5, so that way it at least make more sense to use the Delta Reserve when you're flying Delta than the American Express Platinum card. I mean, I feel like that's just a no-brainer. It's pretty much the stuff that pops in your head when you think of making this card better. Adding at least one more bonus category to this card as well would definitely help out the case for this card. And I know this may seem like a stretch, but I think they should just ease up on that club restriction. So right now, it's only when you're flying Delta that you can access the Delta Sky Club, but I think they should do away with that. This card should not be more restrictive than the American Express Platinum card when it comes to lounge access. I think that's a very big handicap for this card. And outside of that, I think they have a good concept for this card. They definitely offer more than the United Club Infinite card, and definitely the American Airlines card, because you get a companion certificate and you get stuff to help you towards that elite status. So please, Delta, just make these changes, because right now your flagship card is a dud in my eyes. And if you actually watch my airline loyalty program, you'll see that I actually praise Delta's loyalty program, because I think they have a lot of features that are very consumer friendly, and having the best flagship credit card would just be the icing on the cake, because American Airlines is not competing in my eyes. They have a lot of work to do, and United, they are just they're just destroying their rewards program just at every opportunity they get. I don't understand it. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Do you think I missed some improvements that Delta Reserve can make, or do you think I'm off the mark or anything? Get that conversation started in the comments section below, but that is where I will wrap up this video. But that's all I have for this one. So as always, if you found some value in this video, go ahead and drop me a like to let me know. And if you want to be sure to catch more content just like this in the future, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you're notified when I do upload, because I think I've been coming with the fire. Let me put a fire emoji like somewhere. Like I might just line this up with like fire emojis or something. I'm editing these myself, so I can do that. But anyway, yeah, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. But as always, the only thing more valuable than your points is your money, and the only thing more valuable than your money is your time. But until next time, peace.